After a humiliating first-round vote for Freidrich Merz this morning, the leader of Germany's conservative Christian Democrats fared better in his second ballot in the afternoon. A man famously not lacking in confidence, he cut a meek figure when finally confirmed as Chancellor in the Bundestag. What happened in the German parliament this morning was a rare bombshell and a warning from his ranks. Mertz had expected to be elected Chancellor in the first round, but fell short of the parliamentary majority he needed. This had never happened before in Germany's post-war history. So much for the stability and strong coalition that Merz had promised and much of Germany had expected. And being a secret ballot, he may never find out who wielded the daggers. Tarnished though he may be, Merz positions himself as a strong leader who can steer Germany through a weakened economy. After his February election victory, he was unequivocal about Trump distancing himself from Europe.
Umgehen, wenn diejenigen sich durchsetzen, die in Amerika wirklich nicht nur America First, sondern fast schon America Alone zu ihrem Motto machen, dann wird es schwierig.
An extraordinary statement prompted by Trump's comments about NATO, his overtures to Vladimir Putin, and the insults leveled by Vice President Vance against Germany's traditional ruling parties. Merz used to pride himself on being a pro-American, but Trump and co have changed the dynamics. During the election campaign, it was Elon Musk who interfered on the side of the far-right AfD, now the second biggest party in the Bundestag, breathing down the CDU's neck. The AfD's leader, Alice Weidel, responded to the first round of today's parliamentary vote by calling on Merz to resign and new elections to be held. And while Merz comes away from today's vote battered and bruised, the AfD itself has its own battles to fight. Last week, Germany's domestic intelligence agency classified the party as extremist, finding it to be racist and Islamophobic. The party has taken legal action against the spy agency. Its leaders described the extremist designation as a severe blow to German democracy. And guess who agreed with them? The Trump administration, calling it the building of a new Berlin Wall. This is the new reality that Chancellor Merz has to deal with. Watch this space. Well, I'm joined now by the German ambassador to the UK, Miguel Berger. Thanks for coming into the studio again. Bit embarrassing for your new Chancellor to fail at the first round when it was supposed to be a formality. Who wielded the daggers?
Yeah, you know, a vote in Parliament is never a formality. It was not a smooth start.
But this has always been a formality in the past, hasn't it?
It went always, the elections were always in the first round, but I would say you are right, it was not a smooth start. But the important news from today is we have a new German government. Half a year after the old coalition broke up. And now a lot of tasks are waiting for this new government in foreign policy, but also in domestic policy.
We'll talk about those challenges in a minute, but just on this slightly embarrassing wrinkle this morning, I mean, the whole point of this coalition, two parties as opposed to three, it was supposed to be stable. Now, is this an inkling of instability to come?
I hope not. I think it had a lot to do with the coalition agreement negotiations, but everybody knows what is at stake. And we have the far-right AfD as the main opposition party now, and everybody in the government, inside and outside, knows this government cannot fail. It has to deliver. You
have an AfD party, an extreme right-wing party, many people will say, that is supported rhetorically and politically by the Trump administration. Elon Musk campaigned on its behalf. Vice President J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, said after the ruling that it should be treated like an extremist organization, that the new Berlin Wall was being built, that Germany is no longer a democracy. This is your closest ally.
Absolutely, and that's why we have reacted to these statements and made clear that this is also part of democracy, to defend rule of law, to defend our values, and to stand up against extremism. And I think this is quite a unanimous position among democratic parties.
Do you agree with Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission, who used to be Germany's defense minister, that the West, as we know it, is finished?
I would not go as far as that. I think we are in a difficult situation. We have many challenges, But I would be very cautious to speak about the end of the West we know it, because things can always be changed and can be corrected. And we need to work now on maintaining the US within NATO on a transatlantic relationship. We know it will not be easy, but there is no real alternative to it.
And the headline, which is Germany rearms, Europe breathes a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that that is a headline that people are greeting like that is extraordinary, isn't it?
It's absolutely extraordinary. And yes, we have made clear we are going to invest in the armed forces. We are going to have a NATO summit in The Hague end of June. And it is absolutely clear that there will be a defense pledge which will be higher than the 2% right now.
Half a trillion euros possibly spent by Germany on defense.
On defense and infrastructure. So infrastructure is part of the package. We need to do more on digitalization, on railway, on everything that has to do with our infrastructure. And this is also very important for NATO, because Germany is the logistic hub for NATO.
Henry Kissinger, the late Secretary of State, once described Germany as an economic giant and a political dwarf. Is that about to change?
That was never a fair assessment.
But is it going to become a political giant now as well?
I hope that we will see a lot of German political leadership in Europe and a very good cooperation with the British government and obviously also with our French allies and partners.
And Britain, of course.
Britain is absolutely there. And
invited back into the fold of the EU with the German leadership?
You know, Matt, we have seen over the last months and with the new US administration a very positive development, I would say, in the European cooperation. And we are going to have the Reset Summit on the 19th of May here in London.
Can't wait. Ambassador Berger, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.